All right, everyone, welcome. This is episode number 152 of the Flow Show. I am joined by the legend Skywee, and I believe they're in Asia. Is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are in Singapore, and Billy of Almighty. Both of you gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Are you guys in Singapore currently, or where are you
Oh,
located, Sky?
our base
Singapore.
is in Singapore. Sky is also in Singapore, but
Okay.
who knows where you go in the future, right? Sky, you want to move out of Singapore soon, right?
Yeah, so
Well,
moving
yeah.
to Malaysia.
First of all, tell me a little bit about Singapore because I've never been. I have friends that have gone. I've heard beautiful things. What is it like living in Singapore, Sky? Tell me a little bit about the overall sort of feeling and vibe of Singapore. You said you
Oh,
wanted to move, but how is it?
Singapore is a safe country, green country. So the place is considering very nice for tourists. And of course, the reason why I want to move because I want to give my family a better life. So moving to other countries might be uh, better for them for retirement. Yeah, because Singapore
Yeah.
lifestyle is hectic, very stressful.
Interesting, interesting. Well, those that don't know you, maybe give a little bit of an introduction on yourself because I have become very familiar with you. You have a massive following across different platforms. You stream Mobile Legends, and you are a professional gamer, video game creator. And if those might not be familiar with how that works, what it is, could you maybe explain a little bit? You stream on Facebook, more so Twitch on my side, and in poker that's like the go-to platform. But tell me a little bit about your journey, your career, and what you
Hmm.
do as a streamer.
Alright, okay. Anyway, so you guys can call me Skywee. So I've been streaming in my Facebook page Skywee for almost 2 to 3 years. So recently I ventured into TikTok too. So I've been doing TikTok videos, doing pretty well. 130k followers in TikTok. So
Nice.
basically, my TikTok is more into doing highlights and etc. So talking about my main career, which is on the Facebook side. So I started streaming before I started streaming. I've been playing pro, so that means I've been going for competitive scene. I've been challenging in tournament, etc. So, but then for that lifestyle is a bit how do I say? There's a limit to it. That means to say, you only earn from tournaments. So that means to say, if you win tournament, of course you get massive income or you get good income. But if unfortunately, if the meta change, etc., you may be not in the meta, then you may be outdated. Then there's a risk on getting retrenched. May not be able to win tournaments, so you may not be able to get income. So that's why from there, when I started of tournament pro, I thought of like I should find something that can do for long term. So after getting tournament and after getting more fame in terms of playing the game, because I've been getting top global in certain heroes previously. Back then, it's called the hero is called Zilong. Zilong. How do I say in Chinese? English is called like Zhao Yun.
It's
It's
called
a
Zilong, so it's
Zilong,
Zilong.
but
So it's,
correct.
it's it's a character that's quite strong back then. So I think Skyway
Yeah,
was famous for that.
correct.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of crowds, a lot of fans over Indonesia and Philippines and Myanmar too, just by playing the heroes. So from there, I started to get more fame on YouTube side. So I started to earn my money, my income revenue from uploading videos on YouTube. And then afterwards, my friend told me, "Hey, how about you trying to go streaming? Because streaming is still a very new thing." And I was like, "Hey, you can earn money from streaming?" He said, "Yeah, you just need to stream, clock the hours, hit the target, and then you can get per month salary." I was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool, yeah." So I started to venture into small companies that do streaming. But then, unfortunately, that journey wasn't good because some companies they do not have money to pay streamers, etc. And some companies closed out too. So afterwards, uh, thankfully, Facebook gaming started to rise. So they started to get more streamers on board to their platform. So I was the first few batch of Facebook gaming. So fortunately, to be able to stream there and given a contract over there and able to yeah earn from it. I mean yeah make a living from there.
And
Yeah.
how
Yeah, but
can
it
you
wasn't
explain?
easy though.
Yeah,
I mean, to add on to what Sky was saying, right? If you don't mind, but I
yeah,
think
of course.
to clarify, right? Actually, there was this point of his career where he was streaming for a few companies, and I think the biggest problem was that esports was still too small in Southeast Asia. So some companies could not pay, or some companies failed to deliver on the promise, and I guess he had to eventually jump into Facebook. Yeah, so that's a bit of context for everyone. Yeah.
And how do you guys know each other exactly? So you're part of Almighty and Billy. How long have you and Sky known each other, Skywee?
Gee, that's been a while. So
Wow.
previously, before we started Almighty, right? My journey to not bore everyone. I started from just an amateur, like an amateur clan, right? Like the kind of clans you start Dota with, or like Counter-Strike, where you just play with a group of friends. Because PUBG came up, right? PUBG Mobile. So we hopped on in the community clan, and before we knew it, we wanted to take things serious. So that was really end of 2019, right? Somewhere along the lines of like September, October 2019, we decided we have to go into esports. We have to make this a business. And I left my full-time job as a financial agent, and I came into the scene with really no idea how to navigate the space, right? But Sky was eventually the first talent I signed, not as an esports athlete, right? I do have esports teams back then. It was playing under the moniker of Divinity Esports, right? If you Google that, but Sky was the first talent we signed, and he was really the best in Singapore. So I'm lucky. Right? Back then, it was not easy for Sky to trust someone else again. No doubt, I think at the start of knowing Sky, it was really like a bit of negotiation, a bit of like, like what are the benefits, what are the perks, is there any salary? And I'm just glad, right, that eventually Sky came to a compromise, I came to a compromise, and we started something out. So that has been about a year, right, Sky? About a year and a half really working together.
Yeah.
Truly
Close to
working
2 years
together.
now. Yeah, close to 2 years.
Close to 2.
Very cool. And just to give a little context on how old you guys are, I'm 35. I feel like I'm young, but you guys
Wow,
are.
he doesn't
are
look
young.
like 35. He doesn't look
Yeah,
like 35.
Oh, listen, thank you. There's some gray hair under here. Getting older, but yeah. So you're 24, Sky, is that right? Skywee, and then Billy,
Yeah.
how old are you?
I'm 27 this year.
27. Okay. Yeah. For gaming though, esports, it is kind of a young man sport, right? Like where do you for Mobile Legends, is 24 considered older, or is that younger, or kind of in the middle? Because how does like the life cycle of a esports player work? Because I've heard different things, and maybe it's different in Asia. Like where does 24? What stage of your career are you in right now, Sky? Can I call you Sky or Skywee?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Just call me Sky.
Sky.
Sky will do.
All right. Sky. Okay. So
Yeah.
what part of your career are you in right now? What stage?
I guess I'm in the stage of retirement from the pro scene, but more into the content creation side, because pro scene and also content creation is both separating. Because some players that are playing pro, but they are not streaming, they are not doing content, they are not creating contents, so they are just mainly just pro players. So in Southeast Asia, there's a lot of pro players that really make it to the top, but they are not capitalizing on what they have, so they are still just playing pro. Yeah, but my stage of comparing to theirs is very simple, and I feel age wise, for streaming wise, is there's not really an age of, like, for streamers, like ideal age. So there's people who are 50s, 40s, even 60, they are streaming also. And people who
Wow.
are even younger than 18, below 18, they are also streaming too. So the age wise, it doesn't really matter. But eventually for me, I've been streaming for 3 years. I feel that I grew out a lot. I matured a lot in terms of getting to the community. Because eventually, in order for me to get to the community is very different from for other countries. Because in Southeast Asia, usually they will speak in their own languages. Like for example, Indonesia, they usually speak in Bahasa. Philippines, they will speak in Tagalog, and Myanmar, they will speak in their own language too. So in order to get them to watch you or engage with you will be very different. So sometimes you may need to know a bit of their greetings, and you may need to get know about their culture a bit, etc. So in order for them to support you, or for them to watch you or follows you, so it's a very different kind of
I
context.
think, Sky,
Because
what you're talking about is also the fact that different age groups to connect with different kind of audience. So I think at 24, Sky being still very young, makes him a lot easier to connect, more energy, right? Honestly speaking, when you're 30, you have commitments, like you have family, you have kids, dude, like how do you commit to a proper streaming schedule, right? So I think Sky is in a beautiful stage of his career. He was mentioning that he has matured a lot in the past 2 years. I can tell you, Jeff, he has matured a ton. Like a lot is understatement because back then he was a total different beast, right? He was at a peak of his career, still riding that peak. Has grown 200 over percent in the past year thanks to COVID,
Yeah.
right? RIP to the rest, but yeah, I think to shed a bit of light onto what I believe is that there's no age cap to streaming. But of course, if you're 50 plus, you ought to have a unique selling point, right? Like, to be honest, if you aren't able to excite your audiences anymore, your audience have no reason to watch you, then I guess you would say the twilight of a streamer's career would be about 40, 30 plus 40, right, Sky? Because you would eventually have a lot of expertise, a lot of connections, and once you hit that age, you would then move on to different stages of your career, like handling talents, starting up a company for content creation. So, yeah, that's what I believe. Sky's in a perfect age of his career.
And how often are you playing live versus online? Because you go to tournaments and travel around. Like, let's say before COVID, is that what percentage of the time is it live streaming versus going to events in person, like online?
Okay. Previously talking about competitive wise, before I stream, it's very often it's like perhaps like 1 month there's like 2 to 3 tournaments. So sometimes, because previously I was in the Indonesia esports, so they also requires me to travel to Indonesia just to doing content and also playing tournaments as well. So it's like maybe 1 month, 1 or 2 times traveling overseas. But ever since streaming wise, it's different already. So every time, I mean right now COVID wise, we don't really get to travel to even offline event is also very rare. I have upcoming event on, I think, this year December is with M3, one of the world championship for Mobile Legends wise. So they invited me over as the ambassador for Singapore side, so to attend their offline event. So it's very rare for COVID wise lah. So it's like maybe
Like, can I
once
come?
in a while. Yeah, yeah,
Can I
sure.
join you in the M3?
Oh, that one I have to
You
ask
know,
because limited
Jeff,
slot
just a bit of
lah. COVID.
context for you. M is a series of Mobile Legends, right? Three being the
Yeah,
season three, end of the year. We were so close. Our Mobile Legends team
yeah,
was
it's
just
very
1 point
close
away from the series to get into the M3, and it was really a sad moment.
to the
Ah, man,
qualifying.
we were just 1 point away.
Wow.
Ah,
And can you explain a little bit with Mobile Legends versus League of Legends? Because obviously League of Legends, everyone has heard of that. And Mobile Legends, I wasn't as familiar with it. That was just essentially, is it League of Legends on your cell phone? Is that the best way to describe it, or what is the difference?
League of
Sky?
Legends, because
Oh,
for me I seldom play mobile.
I could.
League of
So
Legends.
the League of Legends, of course, is the original, right? Last time mobile gaming couldn't really support such high quality games, right? First was Vainglory, and of course that didn't work out. I would say Mobile Legends is the most successful copy of League of Legends, right? The same format, the same simplicities, like even the laning stages, it is pretty much a 80-90% replica. So of course ML was under quite a bit of heat from League of Legends a couple of years back. I think Sky knows about that. But in terms of heroes, that is not too far away. Like let's say for example, if League creates a new hero, right? ML Mobile Legends would likely do an adaptation of it, right? Copy 80-90%. Because to be honest, creating a character out of nowhere, it is not easy. Right? So adapting is always easier. Of course, you just make sure you don't infringe no copyright. This is what I believe.
But is it the same company, or are they different, completely
No,
different?
it's a different company. League of
Oh
Legends
wow.
is by Riot, and
Right.
Mobile Legends is by Moontan. So
Moonton.
Moontan is from China. I think League as well, but yeah, it's a different company as a
Different
whole.
company. Yeah.
Interesting. And what about Twitch? I know you're big on Facebook, and you also stream. I guess you have the YouTube stuff, but what about, explain the difference on why you have why Facebook versus Twitch? Is that a thing? Do you have a Twitch at all, or do you not? Is it not over where you are? Is it not so popular or even allowed?
For Southeast Asia wise, we are more recognized for Facebook side for streaming and YouTube wise. And also one good thing about Facebook side, Facebook gaming, for us we do have a certain how do I say, contract per year. So we do have a monetization in terms of that. As compared to Twitch, from what I know, is that Twitch usually they earns by tipping, so it's very different paying schedule. But I can't touch more on that. And talking about the platform wise, for Asia wise, we prefer certain platform. Yeah, that's why Facebook wise and YouTube wise, these two platforms is very receiving
Yeah.
around Southeast Asia.
It's a consumption pattern. It's a platform
Yeah,
bias. I think it's just Southeast
correct.
Asia being more focused by Facebook, and Twitch not really inclined or not really interested in going to the mobile space. Right? Twitch is purely PC. There are streamers in the mobile scene streaming on Twitch, but it's not much focus, right? People just don't really go there for mobile games. So yeah.
Right. Makes sense. And what other games or game types do you play? Is it strictly Mobile Legends, or what else do you like to play, Sky? Even if it's just for fun, what do you like to play, or other than you're known for Mobile Legends?
Apart from Mobile Legends, I don't think I play other games too though. Out of my free time, because usually my stream time is equal to play. So out of
It
my
feeds you
free
too well,
time,
right?
I don't play games.
It feeds you too
Right.
well. There's no
Yeah.
reason to play other games at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can relate to that with poker. I always say, it'd be fun to play video games or do something else. But right, that's kind of the reality, right? You're playing a lot. You're immersed in one game. You're very good at one game, and you can only do so much. So that makes
You
a
could
lot of
play
sense.
Omaha. You could play Omaha.
Um, we'll say it again.
You could play Omaha poker. In a way, it's slightly different. It's getting popular, right?
Omaha is very popular. I love
It's
PLO.
fun.
It's a great game. Is poker popular where you guys are? Do you play with friends? I mean, is it the
There's a
casino?
stigma. In Asia, there's a stigma. So of course, like how in Singapore, you have to pay a levy to enter the casino. So of course, we do have that stereotype, and I guess we don't really support that too much. You don't really see no competitions in Singapore, right?
Right. That's a good point. Yeah. No. And someone told me there's a casino in Tokyo, I believe, opening in 2028. Did you hear that?
Well, it's chatter, I believe. I think nothing is certain anymore during COVID, and how Singapore is attending to this whole crisis. But I believe so. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean, I'm shocked that some of these countries don't have it, but I guess right, like you said, there's sort of stigma, negative connotations in some of the areas. So, what about esports, Skywee? Do you think there's anything in particular that bothers you with esports or your particular game? Like, if you could change something or something that, like, maybe a perception, or I don't know, even just like from the game overview of the game, like what would you change in esports that you aren't in love with? Is there something that you would like to see get changed?
Wow, that's a very good question. I haven't
You
thought
want
of
assistance,
anything.
right? You want
Really,
assistance?
you have
I
assistant for?
do. I'm here for a reason. I'm your man. Um, I mean, this is for Sky's sake, right? As a talent like Sky, at the peak of his career, I would say he's respectfully the number one in Singapore in terms of following, in terms of successes and achievements. But a lot of brands are still a bit wary, right? Wary of esports, whether it can be a vehicle for marketing, whether it can be used as advertising platforms. So I would appeal, right? Like if brands really do want to advertise on a new form of media, they should look at esports. I think it's a chicken and egg situation, right? Like I think the esports teams aren't doing good enough in terms of branding, and that's also because brands are not willing to jump on board. So, well, we just hope that the scene is more receptive, even for crypto, even for NFTs. Like how there's the stigma, and a lot of companies, a lot of publishers are afraid of adopting these kind of stuff, and they're
Right.
just keeping themselves safe. Don't want to be cancelled, right? Current cancel culture is really strong, so yeah, it's just too safe. Esports is a little too safe at this point.
For sure. And how do you stay motivated to keep playing, Skyway? Like, what is it that gets you to keep going? Do you get bored? Because this is something that happens. People get burnt out, right? They play a lot. It's a lot of the same game. Is it something for you that's always a challenge? You're always motivated, or are there days where you're like, man, I've played, 10 hours yesterday, and I don't know. Like, do you still love it, or do you ever find yourself running into this sort of like burnout feeling?
Previously, I do, because I've been playing the games for like 12 hours, 10 hours, etc. But what keeps me motivated, I guess, is more into my fans who been supporting me. because I have friends who like tell me to go for these top global heroes, for example. So I'll be like, okay, I will show you how. I will prove to you, for example. And also, of course, for my personal wise, which is getting a better life for my parents. So of course, this keeps me moving on and fighting hard. And of course, I believe in consistency too. So and also working hard too, because working hard and working smart is one of the key for getting far or getting successful. Yeah.
Very, very cool. And what about long-term aspirations for, you're the number one player in Singapore ranked and something respective within the game. Some other stuff. Do you have aspirations? Like, well, what are you looking to do in esports? What else do you want to achieve?
For me, my aspiration is more into for my esports, right? Because we do have an esports which is almighty. So I'm hoping and I really hope that my esports can be one of the top esports in terms of different games. Because for our esports for CODM, Call of Duty, we are considered one of the considered the strongest in Singapore right now. Yeah, and of course they are competing in the World Championship, and I'm hoping that they can get top for that lah. So
Yeah.
that's more into my aspiration wise, which is bring my esports to another level too. Yeah, because there's a cap for myself, and I believe in a team, which is the organization that I'm building off, can be successful. I mean, if they are successful, I'll be successful too. So not only myself. Yeah.
That's where Sky's maturity is showing, right? Last time, all he wants to do is just to be a talent, right? Just do what he does best and stay there. And I guess he saw the future, right? He saw the fact that, you know what, my streaming career might peak someday. My esports career is pretty much done and dusted, given how often he's streaming instead of playing professionally, because there's a huge difference, right? And and I guess now he's in this setup. He founded Almighty together with me in our uh, esports label, Almighty, and I mean Almighty is actually under Next Gen Entertainment, right? This is our official company where we do all our operations on. But of course, we have been acquired by uh, a marketing influencer agency and a huge international company, Gush Club. Exactly. Thank you so much.
Right on
And
cue. I'm ready for it.
yeah, they're our major backing in terms of supporting us not just in Singapore but in the global stage, right? Because if you want to find talents, right, you want to sign talents, you can't sign talents with just a remote office in Singapore. You do need a setup in different countries to legalize contracts, etc. So Gush Cloud is in 11 countries, right, internationally. All right, some places to note is the United States. All right, we have in South Korea, Japan, China,
Japan.
right? And these countries are of course our highest performers, um, but they have never entered into gaming space yet. So I think earlier this year they said, you know what, the wait is over. We cannot wait no more. We need to enter esports and gaming, and so we are joined together in working Almighty up. So kudos to them to support us.
Very cool. And what about your parents, Skywee, or your relatives, friends? What do they think about you being a Mobile Legends superstar? Because in poker, this is also kind of an unchartered, uncharacteristic, not a normal necessarily job, right? As a lawyer, a doctor,
True.
whatever, a bunch of other things. So is this? I would imagine this is a bit out there, right? So what did your family and friends think initially, and has that shifted now with your sort of success and notoriety over the years? Tell me about their feeling about what you do.
All right. So before I actually became a streamer and also playing competitive, they wasn't supportive because they feel that hey, I should study hard, I get a good job and be in the marketplace instead of being a player or being a streamer. Because this new, I mean, this career is very new. It's a very relative new in the Southeast Asia wise. So a lot of traditional parents, they are not really supportive. So afterwards, when I started to earn a bit of money in terms of tournament, and I help out in the family wise, they feel like, hey, you can earn money, ah. Then they say, okay, you can continue to do whatever you want as long as you earn money. So that's their thinking. Then afterwards, right now, I've been doing pretty not too. I mean, I'm doing pretty well. So I help out for most of the family stuff, and they were very supportive in terms of what I'm doing. So that's why I've been fighting. I mean, this is what I feel very joyful and very glad at for my parents' support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice, right? It's nice to have that instead of have to, be on defense, and it makes it all the more challenging to have to try to prove them or, fight for what you believe and what you love. So that's great. And tell me a bit about the cryptocurrency situation in general and the laws, and not going into too much detail, but this is obviously a very popular thing, cryptocurrency, NFTs right now. What is the general consensus in Singapore? Is the government favorable towards cryptocurrency? Is the NFT, is this a word you're hearing every day? Is this like very common and popular, or is it kind of not talked about as much within what you
Singapore,
see?
we are
I think Millie
proud
can share
to.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Go
mean,
ahead.
we are proud to, of course, have a very strong regulating body, right? Singapore, of course, is of course uptight, but of course the rules and regulations are very well executed. So the faith in Singapore in terms of cryptocurrency is still strong. Everybody's talking about it. A lot of people are in it. NFTs, of course, people are jumping right on. Granted, how much of a boom it is, right? I really just took notice of it, I would say 2 months ago, when I started hearing a lot of chatter, and I saw there's stuff like CryptoPunks, we have stuff like pet rocks being sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm like, yo, might I be able to do one myself? But of course, there's a lot of work in planning, right? Of course, you need to do so much to get it rolling, and
Right.
the amount of effort on the back end, technology. Of course, you have to create a metaverse, a storyline. So I mean that's when Too Crazy NFT, of course, just jumped in right in to say, hey, maybe we can sponsor the team, maybe we can work with the team's creators, right? And so Sky was, of course, the number one highlight. I had to say, I had to tell them, pick Sky up. No doubt his viewership is not just focused in Singapore, but it has a lot of exposure out of Singapore. So of course, crypto, you don't really have too much of a head ambassador in Singapore. You don't have that one guy that is super bullish about it. We are of course very receptive to it. Everybody's doing their due diligence. But NFTs are a whole different ball game. I would say it's not so simple, not so straightforward. And of course, in Gush Cloud, we do have a dedicated team of NFT experts to assess the situation, assess the value, and of course, evaluate what projects to jump on. So, of course, Too Crazy was one that we decided, they have a very good concept. All right. They do have a very interesting idea. And of course, everybody has to keep a lookout for Skywee's collection. Really, really nice work. They managed to gamify NFTs to a level that I feel, even at myself, I would support Skywee in purchasing a few. So it's amazing work. Do we have any pictures here? I don't think so, right? It's not released
No,
yet, right?
because we don't. I mean, this is technically we're unveiling this relationship, this partnership. So it is exciting. I've been working with them for a while, and I also am a big believer in crypto. I'm a big believer in NFTs, and I think that being a programmable asset, I think it's just one of those things where it makes a lot of sense to connect with your fans, to connect with people, to give them an opportunity to kind of have something unique, but also program it and give them some unique experience, exposure to something that they maybe would have no chance generally, right, to get to interact with someone like Skywee. So Sky, what do you think about NFTs? Obviously you are interested, right, where you're engaged and understand this, but is this something that you've been, how long have you been aware of NFTs? Is this partnership and relationship that you learn about more recently, or have you been in tune with NFTs for some time now?
I do heard and I mean I do know and heard about a lot of different NFT, but for me I prefer in terms of I believe more into like NFT that is more practical. That means there's more like practical hands-on thing. Like for example, if I buy the NFT or I buy the collection, I can entitle to something. Like entitled to the group, I can have interview with the person, I can meet the person. That's more practical as compared to getting
Functionality, right?
functional.
I think you're
Yeah,
talking about functionality and perks that
correct.
follow through, not just a plain NFT
Correct.
that nobody really has a tangible evaluation of the value.
Yeah,
For
right.
sure. And
Yeah.
what about was that another thing I was going to say? It was about with your sort of success. Well, you have millions of followers. Like how do you plan to kind of evolve from here? Because you're already, you have so much success. Like where do you see to go from here? Like, is it something that you want to do more personal content? Is that something that, you think you should, what area do you want to focus to grow and expand your reach right now? What is important to you coming up? Skywee? What are you looking to focus on in the next coming months?
You mean for my personal wise, or is it for my team
Yeah,
wise?
you've reached millions and millions of people. Like I don't know if you get recognized in the street where you are, like in your hometown and stuff. I would imagine, probably, right? There's probably a lot of kids and people that like gaming and see you. But like, is there, what is like, yeah, what do you plan to do? Do you want to make a documentary? Do you want to do more YouTube, live vlogging? What are you passionate about, and how do you to grow your social presence and your expand? Like, what is I don't know. I guess I would say, what gets you excited? Is it more streaming? Is it more behind the scenes look at what you're doing? Like, what do you want to do in the upcoming? Let's say the next couple months, right before the end of this year. What are you going to focus on?
For me, I'm planning to focus on two areas. One is, of course, my social media. One of my particular social media that I'm actually focusing on right now is actually my TikTok channel, because TikTok is one of the new thing too. So I managed to get my blue tick too over in TikTok. So my currently TikTok followers is around 130K. So hoping before this year end can reach to maybe 300K or 200K minimally. So bring forward the upcoming months to go, hoping to get 1 million too in my TikTok channel too. And of course, moving on, of course, I also focusing on building up my company wise and of course my esports team wise as well. Because one of the things that I'm very excited on is more into the teams getting top championship. Because when it's successful, of course, I believe that it'll bring me to a greater height too as well. Yeah.
I think he's at a point of influence. I think he has hit a point where, instead of now just focusing on himself, he focused on the people below him, people under him, right? Help them get to where he is right now. So he himself managed to bring a few of our talents to, of course, the same Facebook gaming partnership, right? Of course, giving more income back to the talents. On the second part, being a really strong brand ambassador and being the front man, right? Like the poster boy to endorse the label. So that's what he has been doing, and I think kudos to him. Last time, telling him to help out is tough because he is always streaming really really massive hours every month. But now he's bugging me, he's texting me, calling me. It's like, hey, Billy, what do we do to grow this company to a much bigger size, right? So I think the highlight is Skywee really wants to do business and really wants to scale what he owns. Yeah, in the
And
next
I
few
guess,
months.
Sky, I want to understand you personally in that, because like for myself, whether it's my podcast and the logo or design, the banners, this and that, like I'm very hands on. I like to be a part of it and help with all that process. Do you find yourself like that? Or you just kind of stream and let everything handle itself, or do you go back, look at it? Do you make suggestions? Do you come up with thumbnails? Like, how involved are you on the back end of all the stuff, the content you do?
Okay, so for Facebook wise, it's not very much of editing hands-on needed because I stream. But for my TikTok wise, it's more into I'll be doing a lot of hands-on too. That means to say the content wise that I find from my editor. Usually, I'll tell them which is a very nice timestamp and what to do, how's the thumbnail like, the caption will be like, etc. So a lot of things is like what they do too. It means very similar to what you do. Yeah.
Very cool. And with the partnership, I do want to spend a little more time here with the Too Crazy platform. That now that you do have this partnership, like what excites you about being with Too Crazy? What in particular, do you think? Because again, NFTs, I think that so many people are just learning, right? Like I've been in NFTs for a while, CryptoPunks. I'm in a CryptoPunk fund. Like it's new to me though. I learn stuff every day. I don't fully understand NFTs. It's like no one really does, really, right? Like it's brand new.
Mhm.
It's like people are trying to figure out how to use them, how to make it work. Like what within being a part of Too Crazy excites you about this part of being involved more directly and now having your own NFT? What is the most exciting thing for you?
It's more into having my own collection. Because it's like my merch. It's like my collectible. How do I pronounce that? Collect. Collectives.
Your
Collectibles, yeah.
collect, I would say your
Collectibles.
collectibles, yeah.
Correct. So I'm really looking forward for my own collection for that. Yeah.
Thank
Very
you.
cool.
The good thing about this collection is that, the regular NFTs have no function. Right? This NFT really does have perks. Right? Whenever you buy this, you have different kind of rarities. There are different things you can do with the cards that you purchase. Like in general, the application portion is just so wide. Like you can win all sorts of stuff. Whereas the traditional NFTs, you just buy and just leave it there, wait for the value to grow, and even if you don't get a really ultra rare item, you don't really get a very good perk with it. These are limited collection items. So like you buy it, right? You keep it. Wherever Skywee goes, any new height that Skywee hits, right? If he does double up in his viewership, I'm guessing that those NFTs that you buy will also, if not double up in value, because this person has grown, right? So these collections are just mini investments and not just plain out donations. Because once you tip on live streams, you just tip, and then that's all, right? You make the person happy, you get a name up, you get a shout out. That's about it. Right? But this, you actually are invested, right? As a viewer, you are invested in the welfare and the growth of the talent, which is Skyway in this way.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think that's something with Twitch I'm more familiar with. People pay a monthly subscription, people donate all the time. And it's like, look, I think a lot of the people are really, they're here about, that's part of what NFTs are. It's like supporting the person you respect, that you like, in a way. It's like, look, if you want to like tip a guy, why not get a card and then actually it could go up in value, right? It actually does have an opportunity. You own something. It's not just a tip. You're getting something. You're showing support for the person that you are engaging with, and it's also cool because the community. Listen, I love trading cards. I collect basketball, baseball cards when I was a kid, and that's become very popular now, right? Like this is again sort of, I don't know if you guys follow this so much, but like the sports cards are very popular, and it's like the world's going digital. It is. It's like it's a lot easier to hold, trade, blockchain with NFTs and send cards and do all this stuff. Whereas having the physical cards, if I wanted to send you a card, Michael Jordan card, it's not easy, right? I have to mail it. It could get lost. It's all this, and now I think the world's moving digital. So yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities, and I think that the exciting part is from getting to know you, that I know you really are interested in it. Like you said, you want to connect, you want to engage, you want to have it be worthwhile, right? You don't want to just make an NFT, have it sit on the side, and it's just not usable, or you're not engaging with it. So yeah, I think it's very cool. Very honored that you are going to be the first, I guess, unleashing of the Too Crazy NFT platform and have your special edition card. Or what is how active have you been in the design process? I know you kind of were looking at it. They sent you some mock-ups and designs. Is that fun? Has that been interesting for you to kind of help design, guide, and get the look and feel of the Too Crazy NFT card? Have you enjoyed that?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, you guys should look
Sky,
forward to.
yeah, there was a couple revisions, right? In the past, there was just, of course, the draft one, draft two, but I think Sky played a really active role, even saying, like I like a particular style, I like a particular design, even the backdrop that live stream that he's live streaming on, right? He has been using this black backdrop for God knows how long. I actually, Sky, tell us like what is so special about this background, because
Yeah,
it has been there
what's going
for
on
some
there? Tell me a little bit about what are all the things mentioned on there?
It's actually nothing much. Just a backdrop
time.
that my dad designed for me.
Right. Instead of a traditional green screen, right, for live streamers.
Yeah.
So this is something interesting. So Sky suggested, how about I just use this backdrop, put it in the background of that NFT, make it valuable, right? Because this is really the everyday life of his. Yeah. So amazing work from him.
Very cool. No, I'll be honest. I own some NFTs. I've dabbled in different little, ones, and I was, when they showed me the mock-ups for your NFT, I was really like, damn, I was like, that's cool. Like I was like, that is, I'm very excited to see how well this does, because I just think it's really well done, and it's going to be fun. What about, have you helped with some of the, I actually haven't seen the exact, there's different rarities, of course. Just there's going to be different values and different things. Or is there any like live hands-on experience? I know it wasn't official yet, right? There was still some stuff that was getting worked out on the final details. Do you know like the grand most rare prize? Is it going to be to go out with you to dinner? Is it going to be come meet you? Do you know specifically yet, or is that still in the works? I know there's like 5 or 6 different different types of
crazy.
cards and values. So do you know the grand prize, the grand package yet, or is that still TBD? Skywee.
It's literally too crazy, man. Sky,
It's
take
too
it away.
crazy. We can't talk about it. This is the unveil, but we can't give away everything today. All right,
Yeah, we
fair
can.
enough. Skyway,
Yeah.
I don't want you to blow it. I don't want you to unveil everything today. So
But it's amazing though. It's too crazy. Like I think it's too crazy for this. I wouldn't even expect this to be in the grand prize. It is way too much. But hey, everybody that buys it has a chance. So check it out.
well, listen, I hope you guys do get to US, get to Miami and hang out. I would love to go to Singapore. I mean, the whole world has kind of it's been a wild time the last couple of years, like you did allude to earlier, Billy. In some respects beneficial for some, right, and for gaming and for streaming and content and just kind of being focused and organized. Obviously, terrible time overall in the world, right? It's just been a bizarre, confusing, scary stuff, but like there are some benefits in some ways, right? There are some positives out of such a negative. So hopefully when the everything kind of gets back to normal, there will be more travel, and I'd love to get over there. I know actually, as of right now, I'm supposed to go over to Asia in February, March, for depending, of course, how everything shakes out in the world. But yeah, maybe it'd be great to meet in person, and I hope you, Sky, we got to get you to Vegas, man. You're 24 now. We got to get you to the US. Any US plans in the future coming up? Is that on your list?
Sky. You must.
Haven't thought of, but I'm looking forward
Vegas
to
is
it.
nice. Vegas is nice. I've been there twice, but I was underage, so hey,
A lot of things,
I couldn't go to those casinos. I couldn't go to no interesting shows. Everything was just NC-16.
Right. Well, no, Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas is definitely becoming, I think, an esports kind of hub. They've made some nice. I don't want to say theaters, but like studios. There is some. It's definitely a hub. All right, a couple more questions here. What about advice for players, fans, casters, competitors out there? What are some advice, Skyway? If someone said, "Hey, like I want to start streaming Mobile Legends. I want to become a caster," because just like poker, people ask me all the time, like, oh, how do I start? How to do it? The things have changed a lot. I started 2003, 2004, right? The game changes, the technology changes, the barrier to entry is different. What would be your advice to someone, Skywee, who wants to start and become a streamer or professional gamer today?
My advice is more into I believe in consistency eventually, because a lot of people, they give up halfway. That means they are about to going to be reaching the point, but they give up halfway. So I feel that if, let's say, you've been trying hard, just continue trying, because you never know when you reach the point. Because if you never try, you will never know too. So for those people who are doing streaming, of course, they have to keep on being consistent, because that's one of the key. And of course, for pro players, it's more into practice, lah. Because practice makes perfect. Because the more you practice, the more you play, of course, the better you can become. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very
that's what
very cool.
Wise words.
Very cool. And what do you practice like in poker? They're studying and stuff, and I guess in Mobile Legends, it's mostly playing, right? But is there ways to practice, or is there drills you do with your hands or your, I don't know, like your reflexes? Like, is there stuff that you do to train to become, to be one of the best? Like, give me something, or I don't know, mind games, like, Minecraft. I don't know. Is there anything you do in particular, or do you just play? Is that how you get better?
Playing does help you get better, but of course, if you are in a team, esports team wise, there's usually a coach that will able to help you and guide you better. To so you can know what's a mistake and to improve from there.
And
Yeah.
tell me about a few of these videos. So this video has like over 1 million views. Was there something particular? Is this like a special match or game, or why was this one such like a, you got a lot of engagement, a big YouTube following, but why this video? What made this one so much like, one of the more standouts?
Okay. For this video wise, if I'm not wrong, it's more into skins different. That means one of the very popular skins type, like it's called, I think it's Legend skin and also KOF skin. So KOF skin is one of the collaboration with Moton. So that skin is pretty popular and it's only for time limited wise. So to put in different teams, I mean different skins type versus each other is a very different kind of experience and different kind of view too.
it's like an unboxing, right? Because some people can't
Yeah.
afford to buy it. So instead of it costs a lot of money. It costs like 200 to 300 US dollars. So like if you can't buy it, watch your favorite person play it. You know,
Very
guess that's
cool.
why it got so big. And back then, Sky really grew his YouTube page a lot. Like before he went into Facebook, YouTube was his primary. And I guess once he switched over to Facebook, that was his main focus already from then on.
And and what is the most fun for you, Skywee? What do you like the most to do? Like, do you enjoy the actual? Do you like the content side more now, or do you enjoy actually playing like a game and streaming on Facebook? Is that more fun, or do you kind of like the process of expanding the game? Because you're I'm sure you're giving a lot of people that have never seen this or a nice hobby or some entertainment. Like, do you enjoy the actual act of playing, or do you kind of like the engagement with the fans and building the brand now? What's more fun to you?
For me, more fun into pushing. I mean, not really pushing. It's more into playing the game and also engagement with fans too. Because a lot of, for example, Mobile Legends come with new heroes. A lot of people will be wondering how to use the hero. So for me, because I'm more into specialize in assassin and also fighters, so these two heroes usually people they will be very interested in terms of watching and very interested in watching the progress of me pushing the top level, for example. And of course, getting very good highlights of the certain heroes and also gameplay to my TikTok channel as well. So my TikTok channel usually recently grew pretty well. I have a video that hits 1.5 million viewership also in terms of my latest video in TikTok too. So that's one of my joyful for for streaming and also for pushing.
Very cool. And do you get recognized like when you go to the grocery store, out to dinner? Do you get stopped a lot sometimes? Like, I mean, because I'm curious, like in poker in like a certain area, if I'm in a casino or in Vegas, I get people will say hello, right? But like, are you just like in the grocery store getting recognized? I mean, how like I know you're a humble guy, you're a nice guy, but Billy, why don't you answer for Skyway? Is he getting stopped for autographs, pictures? Like, well, give me the real deal. I won't even make you answer Skyway because I
In
don't. I know
gaming,
you're
right?
too. Yeah.
In gaming, there are multiple, like I would say, factions. Do you call them factions, guy? Like, of course, different kind of teams have different kind of affiliations. Of course, in Singapore, there are multiple brands, right? Different kinds of esports teams. So, I would say Sky is slightly different because instead of joining an esports organization, he created one himself. So this guy's a master, right? He decides, why join something and grow that something that's not even yours. So he decides to grow this almighty brand, and it is still somewhat fresh, right? We started in March. We would expect him to really pop out. I would say next year, right? Our focus for him is, of course, to grow his presence, not just in the countries he's famous in, but more of in Singapore, because his biggest following is still in Indonesia and Philippines, right, Sky? So we have to populate his presence in Singapore more, and that's what our company's mandate is, to push him as our number one talent. And if back to your question, right? Do people recognize him? Yeah, hell they do, but not all the time, right? We do have like some offline events last time before COVID hit, where, let's see, was it before COVID, Sky? M2, was it before COVID? It was, right?
Yeah, probably for COVID.
Yeah.
M2
No, it's during COVID last year.
during COVID. M1 is
Yeah.
M1
Yeah.
is
So
before COVID.
so we had an event where Sky attended as a guest, and people were asking me, hey Billy, can I take pictures with Sky after this? Don't let him go off first. Please let me take some pictures of him. So yeah, he's getting there. He's getting there. Sky, I'll make it happen for you next year. Yeah, make you a star. And you can't even go grocery shopping, right? You have to order delivery to your house. Yeah, let's do that.
Fair enough. And what about attending upcoming events? Is there any? I think you did allude earlier that there's some, and maybe with COVID plans have changed, but do you have a scheduled live event that's pretty much for sure or on the books as of right now, coming up in the next few months?
Yeah, as mentioned, the upcoming Mobile Legends event entry. So with their world championship wide. So I'll be one of their ambassador for Singapore side lah. Mm.
And
Yeah.
where and when is that?
Should be December period.
Yeah,
December
December.
period.
December is where all the world tournaments have.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to the States, like Call of Duty Mobile. We are in the World Championships right now. It's on the 11th and 12th December. Unfortunately, thanks to COVID, we can't travel to a one unified offline event. So now we are playing in two different regions. One is the West, one is the East. But keep a lookout as well. A lot of prize money to be won. It was initially $2 million, but because we divided it, it's split into half. That's why esports is so big, right? Because in esports, you can make so much more money. Last time it wasn't the case, right? Last time it wasn't the case, but now it is insane. Even maybe as much as a poker player.
And what is the 97 in your name? Is that the year you were born?
Yeah. The year I'm
Okay.
born.
Makes sense.
Makes
And
sense.
and what about the overall consensus of feeling towards esports and streaming? Because like, when I grew up was playing video games, parents telling don't play video games, blah blah. Now they're giving scholarships for sports. Is the general mind thinking where you are in the region? Let's just take Singapore, kind of over there. Is it becoming more like, okay, kids are playing video games, parents aren't like yelling at them or saying, this is a waste of time? Like, are they a little more receptive to this, or do you feel that that's sort of changing?
Mm, Actually, in Singapore wise, it's getting very receptive also because even government is going into, I mean, approving, supporting esports, right? Because esports does help in terms of the growth, and also it does help in terms of the tourism side as well. So
Yeah.
actually, for Singapore side, it's very acceptive, and also within Southeast Asia wise, also very acceptive. So even like Philippines side, they even have like what's it called, pass for esports player as well. Like there's a esports
Oh,
pass. So it's very different. And even
it's
in
like a
schools,
premium pass, is it?
sort of lah. So it's like
Oh,
recognized, or it's like, how do I say? It's like you are a recognized
recognized.
esports player. So it's very so right now it's very recognized
Well, we
within
are
Southeast
entering
Asia.
the global age. I mean, we're entering a global golden age, right, of esports. In Singapore as well, a lot of parents are being more receptive. We are hitting this golden age because many of our younger generation, the ones that were exposed to gaming, are now becoming parents. So we grew up gaming. We grew up playing games all day long. So I think in the next 3 to 5 years, the scene will explode like multiple times, right? Right. It won't just be a double up. It will be on a massive quantum, right? Because even if I become a parent, if my kid likes to play games, I'll play my kid. So we're doing well. Some parents are still negative, but I think it's about to hit a sweet spot. Yeah.
Very nice. And how many languages do you speak, Skyway? You speak very good
Mm,
English, by the way.
Chinese and English. Mandarin, got it. Yeah.
Very, very nice. And what about kids in the future? You're 24. You're too young to even ask this question, but would you like to have children one day, or not even thinking about it?
Of course, thinking of children one day, but not so early lah. Maybe after a few years down the road.
In a few
Yeah.
years. Um, and overall, what do you do when you're not playing Mobile Legends, or you're not playing other games? You were saying because you play a lot and your free time. What do you like to do? Sports, hobbies? Do you watch NBA, NFL, soccer? Golf. What do you like to do in your free time?
Free time wise is more into spending time with my family, and also more into doing my business wise, helping out, contributing to my business growth, and of course, perhaps watching some dramas. Yeah, those trending drama like the recent Squid Game. Yeah,
Oh shit.
it was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know about whether you guys watch it. I mean, I watched it like wow, it's very
Have
thrilling.
you, Jeff? Have you
Well,
watched
a
Squid Game?
Squid Game. I saw the first episode recently. I heard it was an amazing show, and I'm looking forward to watching the season. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I love games, and this
Yeah.
the ultimate.
I think
You
Sky
know,
is living the dream. That's why he doesn't have too much things on the side. Because people play games as a hobby, as a way to relieve stress. This man makes it his career. So I think he's working it backwards, reversing it back. Instead of playing games to relax, I think he's spending time with family, doing work as something that's leisure to him. So yeah.
for sure. And what about in universities? There, are they giving scholarships for gaming? Because this is happening in the U.S. for I think League of
We
Legends as
we
well,
are.
I believe. But do they give? Is there courses
So
now? on gaming and
So I'm actually
scholarships?
in the Singapore Esports Association as an exco member, right? As a board member. So we are technically planning to get into to creating certification for this. Not just a standard certificate, but we want to create a diploma, right? So I think that's the first step. We have done it before, not very receptive, but I think this time when we do launch it end of the year or next year, it will be a hit because I think gaming is so much more than just playing games. It's actually having critical thinking, right? Being creative, playing as a team. So like I think all these good qualities do bring you forward as soft skills. Yeah. So it has to be a diploma. It has to be.
For sure. I was going to ask you that as well, Skywee. What are some of the most everyday attributes that you apply? Two questions. I'll ask the first one. What do you learn in real life that you think you've picked up and it's helped you from Mobile Legends, from streaming games? Like what skill sets do you think that have really helped you to hone in everyday life?
Wow. Let me think about it. What's the question again? So I can process
Like
again my
from
mind.
from no problem from playing a lot of Mobile Legends, right? Like to make quick decisions and
Mhm.
having to learn and winning and losing, right? Like days when it goes well or doesn't. Some things that you think that because of your experience and dedication to this game,
Okay.
what have you been able to apply in everyday life for yourself
I
from
understand.
this?
Okay. So for me, why is like, because losing a game sometimes it does affect your mood, or your day, or it will affect your angers. So for us, I mean, for me, because I've been playing a lot, so losing is becoming very normal for me.
Oh
So
shit!
so
Don't
so
make it a
for
habit though.
I mean, not every time I will lose, but
Sorry.
there's definitely
Yeah.
some days that you get lose or you get lose streak. So of course you will be affected. But then for me, I apply it into my life in a way that some days might be bad. So of course I have to be positive about it. So I will think of a way to I will change my mind in terms of instead of having a bad day, I'll make it to a better day.
I think your
To
mental
take
game
every
is
day.
strong, right? And you have developed
Yeah.
a sense of patience and endurance so that you don't really get affected by these kind of things.
Mm,
For Jeff, I don't know if you game a lot, but like for people that play games hours on end, Mobile Legends is a game that you can lose a lot at one go. You can lose 10 games at one go, right? I mean, when that happens to you, you feel like your day has been lost. You feel like you have wasted your hours, and all of a sudden you are now at a point at a way lower rank than you're supposed to be. So I think Sky has went beyond that. He's no longer toxic, at all. So I think he's a better man now.
Very nice. And last question I'll ask you about this is your attributes because just like in sports, they rank you. FIFA, let's take that's a game I love soccer. The speed, the accuracy, the left foot, right foot, endurance, all this stuff. What attributes do you have that you think that you excel at? What makes you the best player in Singapore for Mobile Legends, or what to compete at this level? What are some things that you do better than most?
I guess it's more into endurance lah. Yeah, because
Endurance.
I have some friends who started off with me almost the same time, but give up halfway. So that's why they went to do other stuff. But if today they were to change that, I mean, they were to think back, they wouldn't have give up. Because after they know about where am I right now, they're like, I shouldn't have give up. I should just continue with you. Then maybe I can be like half of you or more or better than you. So I believe it's more into endurance now to be able to come to where I am. Yeah.
Very, very cool. And Billy, what do you think is Skywee's best attribute? If someone looked at him, so endurance, he says, what do you believe? Is it maybe his hand-eye coordination or his relentlessness, like I guess endurance, like you could call that as well, right? Just willingness to keep going. What for you do you think maybe is his best
It's
attributes?
consistency. Consistency. That without fail, he doesn't miss his dreams. Right? He's committed to this job. He's committed to doing more, and of course, like I mentioned, his maturity. That he really doesn't stay at where he's supposed to. He works double as hard, and although he might not know and be equipped with the skill sets to move further, right? He tries his best, and so that's why we're here. Right? If he gave up halfway, he would never have had an esports organization that's capable of hitting the world stage. Uh, I mean, of course, with everything, hard work prevails. But the good thing is that he does have the skills as well to play the game. So really competent guy. I think he just needs more exposure, and this is the kind of exposure he needs. So really happy that we're on this podcast. Sky can speak up, and be more confident about himself, because I think he should be proud of himself of what he has created for his career. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, listen, guys, this has been very informative. I myself am definitely going to be picking up some of the Too Crazy launch, hopefully getting a rare one. I hope I can win a package or come see you guys in Singapore or wherever it might be, and whatever the grand prize and might actually be, because I only have a general idea of what's possible. I do know it is crazy. I do know it's fun. I know it's going to be exciting. I've seen the mock-ups and it looks really, really cool. So I appreciate the time, guys. This has really been nice. I know. I mean, it's 2:45 in the morning for me. I don't know what time it is there, but it is very late. And I know we've been trying to find a time that works for everyone. And I was delayed deep in a poker tournament tonight. So I appreciate you guys being flexible and being able to move this back. But again, thank you so much. And if please feel free to reach out, come visit in Vegas or Miami, anywhere in the US. Give me a heads up when you guys come. And I hope we'll be working together for a long time on this project, and I'm excited about it. And thank you so much for your guys' time, the both of you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Sky, nice one.
Yeah.
Really,
and great finish on your recent poker tournament.
Yeah, hey, it's nice to make the money. That's for sure. It was a bigger buy-in, and definitely a good tournament. So I appreciate it, and thank you guys for being understanding to push it back. And let's definitely do it again soon. And look for you out on all your socials. And again, guys, you can give him a follow. Skywee, here he is on YouTube. Here he is on Instagram, and he also has the Facebook page. Too Crazy. Keep an eye out. There'll be some news and launch on that. And then also you can get more info, Yahoo News, as well as on the agency here. So again, guys, thank you so much. Number 152, Cheers. The Flow Show is in the book. Skywee and Billy as well. The Almighty. They are here. They were here. We did it. We'll see you very soon. Enjoy your day wherever you are watching the world. And we'll be back for another episode of the Flow Show very, very soon later in the week. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Have a good rest, Jeff. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Good night to you.